My dear friends, we are in the 18th Sunday of the ordinary time. And in today's gospel, we see that Jesus is being dragged into a controversy. But interestingly, Jesus is not interested in the matter of discussion. And he very strongly asks the man who wants Jesus to be a middleman between him and his brother regarding their property dispute. Jesus says, "Who has set me as an arbitrator between your brother and you?" And he wants to shift their focus from what is base, what is low, to things that are of high regard. My dear brothers and sisters, now sometimes we are caught in this web of desire for wealth. We know that it doesn't remain with us, but yet we unfortunately believe that this is the one thing that decides everything on this earth. You might be familiar with the story of King Louis XIV, a king who ruled France for almost 72 years. Probably the greatest reign for any king in the history of Europe. So when we speak about this man, he called himself the state. He used to say, "I am the state." So you can understand how much of pride he was bathing in. When he knew that he was almost about to die, he called Bishop Jean-Baptiste Massillon and he said to him, "When I die, I want to be laid in a gold casket. And the entire cathedral is to be dark except near me where a candle is to be lit. And I want to be basking in the light of that candle, and at the same time, everyone should see the splendor with which I am passing away." He was very particular about that. He had this entire thing visioned and pictured in his mind. The bishop, Jean-Baptiste Massillon, arranged things exactly as the king had wanted him to. But he did something which nobody thought he would do. When everything was said and as the ceremony was in progress, he blew off that only candle that was burning beside the king, and he shouted in a loud voice, "God alone is great." It was a voice of rebellion which the bishop shouted, because he wanted to speak out to the whole world. The king considered him as great, but there is only one person who is great, that is God. Sometimes when we are in our prime with all wealth, we forget the fact that there is a God above us. We forget the fact that we need to be asking for God's help. Or we get into a certain kind of dementia where God is becoming a secondary aspect. My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes we are worrying so much about something that never remains with us. You know, when you read the Mahabharata, it's very interesting that there is a discussion between Krishna and Arjun. Krishna speaks to Arjun about the rationale for the war. Ultimately, the thing is made very clear to him, saying that you were fighting for something that was not yours. And it has become yours for some period of time. And after your death, it will go to somebody else. So the land for which you are fighting, it was originally never yours. When it came to your possession for some time, again it was taken away from you and you are fighting for it, only to give it away to somebody else after you pass on. So what is the real issue here, and what is the thing that we are really fighting for? Something that remains with us for a very temporary period of time. Money is all that, wealth is all that, property is all that, but the entire world is fighting for this one thing, a thing that never really remains with us. What a paradox. What a paradox of life. But ultimately, it is this paradox that decides the fate of the world and decides the fate of our lives. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, we need to awaken. We need to open up. Jesus, in the parable of the rich fool, very clearly reminds us that the wealth that you receive is not for you to hoard and keep it for yourselves, because you do not know what happens to you tomorrow. Therefore, when you have the time, when you have the gift and the capacity, share it. Share it, that you may have treasure enough to carry with you when you go to heaven. And that is why Jesus has been very clear to that fellow who approached him for settling the dispute, because he is not here to tell you which property belongs to whom. No, but he is here to tell you that your deposit should be in heaven, not on earth. Because earth is temporary, it passes away. One that remains is the spirit, and that is life. And Jesus is wanting us to take us to the realm of the spirit, the realm of the kingdom, realm of God. Yes, set your eyes on God. Set your eyes on things that are of high priority, and you will see changes in your life. That would be a miraculous effect. May God help you to shift your focus to things that are upward, and also to be able to see your brothers and sisters who are in need of the little help that you can give. Amen.